is there a moment that sticks out in your mind that kind of triggers like pride with regards to your spoken word practice? Is there like a moment that jumps into your mind that you're proud of, or like a crowning achievement almost, but I guess more in the context of like a moment, something that happened that made you think, oh, I've fallen in love with this?
That's interesting, because I think in terms of what I'm proud of and moment where I've said, oh, I really love this, maybe don't seem like they're very different. So I think I'll start with the second part. And I think for me, the moment where I feel like, oh, I really love this, it would be like really small, random moments where I connect with someone, especially someone who I wouldn't expect. Like I remember once I performed at this like event in London, and then it was a very mixed bag. It's kind of like a fundraising event. And this man who was in the audience came up afterwards, and I think maybe he wasn't very confident in either speaking English or just maybe speaking to new people. And he just wrote down, like on a piece of tissue, he was like, can you just write your name so I can go and like look up other things? He was like, that really spoke to me, or he's trying to convey that, but he couldn't. And I just loved that, even though we couldn't even like necessarily have like a conversation, he felt like the poetry spoke to him that much. And I think it's things like that for me that I find amazing about art and poetry and any kind of creative medium, is that it can really speak to so many different people that you would not expect. And I think to go to the first part, one of the proudest moments is probably when I shared a poem for this Black Excellence event, which was last year around this time. It was in Black History Month in London, celebrating some of the most prominent and influential Black people in the UK. I'll read a bit of it. I won't read the middle, because it was a commission poem, and they basically asked me to just name drop a bunch of people. So it doesn't really like matter if you don't necessarily know them. But I was just really proud of that moment, firstly because celebrating and empowering Black people is something I'm really excited to always do, especially when it's Black people who are doing other things outside of what is the typical, which is, I guess, sometimes music and sport. And don't get me wrong, I think the things that Black people are doing in music and sport inspires me, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, is through music. But I think sometimes people just think that's all we can do. So it's always great when you can shout about the first Baroness in the UK and the first Black woman to be the head of a tech firm and things like that as well. So yeah, that was something I was really proud to be part of. I might just read like a bit of the poem now, if that's cool. Does that sound all right?
It seems like a natural place.
Shout out the names, because that's
Do you want me to? Okay.
We need something to take away and look up. Don't leave that out.
Sure, yeah, I can do that. I didn't want to, I didn't want it to take you out of it. All right, I will read it. Is it all right if I stay sitting down? Okay. Oh, okay, it's called Black Excellence. Black Excellence. Black, as in obsidian, god of sacrifice, absence or intake of all color, pigment, melanin, from the Greek melanos, the brown skin India Ari sings of, African ancestry, as in tribes. My people are my tribe. Marked by more than what blankets our bones, we are songs. Smoke rising from wilderness, waters flowing into an estuary of endlessness. We are eternal, sacred, survivors. We will not be made invisible, for black is absorption of all light, and light is power. Black power is the Haitian Revolution. Black Panthers, Bristol bus boycott, Black Lives Matter movements, that have shifted history and ripple into rooms flooded with black royalty. Excellence, as in to outperform others, refusing to dim our light, even when the only perceived darkness in sight is us. As in Dame Linda Dobbs, Britain's first and only black High Court judge, Dr. Samantha Tross, Britain's first black woman consultant orthopedic surgeon, Baroness Amos, first black woman to serve as a minister in the British Cabinet and House of Lords. We honor their names for paving ways for generations of black women to belong where we've often been told we don't. Your prosperity proves that still we rise, full of grit, grace, and resilience, mighty like a champion, like Marcus Rashford, and the legion of black boys with big dreams who, like him, will dare to turn them into reality, be it a striker or a CEO. Brilliant businessmen like Stephen Bartlett, Dean Forbes, and Daniel Taylor and Sir Ken Olisa have blazed trails that break boundaries for what it means to be a black man, a leader, a free thinker, philanthropist, visionary, inspiring all like Michaela Cole, the voice of valor we need behind the stories on global stages and screens, as in Dame Sharon White, Jackie Wright, Pamela Hutchinson, and Karen Blackett, who broke through double-glazed glass ceilings to hold a seat at the high tables of tech, business, and higher education. Dame Pat McGrath, making up for all the ways we were taught that black is not beautiful. And when our joy threatens the status quo, we will laugh with all our teeth like we don't know sorrow. When our blackness is deemed offensive, our audacious lips will not apologize for taking up space. When our resilience wears out oppression's willpower, we will resound that we are not born to die. In fact, defiance is our way of living. When we are done proving our excellence, we will celebrate how we are manifestations of our ancestors' wildest dreams and recount our history with pride.